Yo, what up? This is Andrew Fox. I'm here to explain to you how you can alter and edit your own audio files, whether you are a music director slash pianist who doesn't want to go in and re-record the entire thing, or I think more likely you are a performer, a student who is now having to do performances to a pre-existing track that can't respond to you. And as you're rehearsing, you may find that certain places need to be slower, need to be faster, need to have less of a pause or more of a pause, or maybe they even need extra repeats in there, or maybe your pianist made a mistake that you want to edit out. Whatever those things are, we need to be able to edit our own audio in order to do it. And I think that while the first few times you do it, it may seem very scary and time consuming, once you know how to do it, it becomes very, very fast. And especially since most auditions are moving online, self-tapings are a big deal, you're probably going to want to learn this to make your life easier when you're out there auditioning anyway. So why not learn it now when we're all quarantined? So the first thing you're going to need to do is get some audio editing software. Now, some music directors or pianists out there may already have software. In our case, we're going to want to download a little thing called Audacity. The reason we're choosing Audacity is because it's free. So you go to the following URL, www.fosshub.com/audacity.html. That's going to take you here. You can download Audacity for Windows or for Mac OS. In my case, I downloaded it for Mac. You figure out how to install it. They come with instructions. And then you're done. You've already got Audacity. Here I've already got it loaded up. Now when you open it up, you're going to want to go to Preferences for just one simple thing, which is you're going to go to, skip all of this, go to Track Behavior. And I want you to select Type to create a label. That's going to come in handy label when we're dealing with, that's going to come in handy later, I can't speak English, when you're dealing with labels. All right, so there we go. But we got to get a file in here. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the downloaded file from whatever your device is or your teacher or whatever, you're going to take it and you're going to load it into Audacity. Oh, wait, you can't. You can't because it's almost always going to be an M4A or an MP3 file. Those are what is called data compressed. You need to convert it to a supported audio format such as WAV or AIFF. Well, drat, how do we do that? Oh, we're going to go right here to this website, convertio.co, convertio.co. You're going to go here, and you are going to simply drag your file there. Drag it in. Oh, that's not how this works. Hold on. Nope. Oh, I had it preloaded, and that's my mistake. Okay. Pretend that didn't happen. So you see, drop files here. So I'm going to go here, download, drop file here. And it's going to say convert to. I don't want to convert to MP3. I want to convert to a WAV file, a wave file. Oh, there's some preferences here. And nobody cares. Skip that. Click convert. That's going to convert. You're going to have the option to download. That's going to go to your downloads folder. And then what you're going to do is you're going to open your downloads. You're going to pick that up and you're going to drag that in. Now, this is not the first demo I want to do, so I'm going to get a different file. Changing melody wave. All right, great. All right, so The first thing I want right now is I want this to be louder. When I was playing it back, it really wasn't loud enough. I couldn't hear it and my voice at the same time, especially coming through a phone. So what do? Well, I'm going to go to Effect, which is going to be in the menu bar. You're going to see Effect. I don't know if you can see it on this recording. You're going to go to Effect, Amplify. Amplify makes things louder, doesn't it? Uh-oh, I've got to select this. So I'm going to select the whole thing. Effect, Amplify, and wait, why can't I click OK? That's weird. Well, maybe if I click, oh, allow clipping. Well, now I can make it as loud as I want. Well, let's make it as loud as we can make it. And what the heck just happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened. When we allowed clipping, what ended up happening was the audio clipped. And let me play for you what audio clipping sounds like. It sounds a little bit like this, which is terrible. Did you hate that? Here, I'll do it again. So, we don't want that. So I'm gonna undo this, Command Z, and we're back to normal. Okay, so first I'm gonna turn this up as loud as it will let me, amplify, and I'm going to unclick, allow clipping. Allow clipping protects the audio, because if it gets too loud, it can't process itself, and it just turns into nonsense. So I'm gonna turn up, okay, that looks like I can turn it up to like 1.14, great. And now it's a little louder, but it's still not where I want it to be. And when I'm checking on the meter, I have about -6 headroom here. 6 is the headroom. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select the whole thing again. And now in order to make it louder, I'm not gonna go to amplify, I'm going to Effect, Compressor. We are gonna be doing audio compression. Compression. Ignore this. Just look at your ratio. Your ratio is going to tell us that you're going to want to keep it between like 1.5 and 3. And all that's going to tell us is how hard we are compressing this. Now, what compression does is, if you noticed, we've got these guys called transients. Transients are just these spikes, or peaks, as the software calls them. Each peak can only go up this high, which means that if I want to turn up this part, well, if this is already very high, well, then it gets in the way and it starts clipping like before. So in order to turn up this track, we actually have to turn down these peaks. So I've selected here compress based on peaks. I've selected here make up gain after compressing. Now what that means is that after we turn down the loud parts, it's going to turn up the quiet parts. So I'm clicking OK. And boom, notice that now these guys haven't really gotten taller, but all the others have. And the overall sound is going to be thicker and it's going to sound louder. Boom. Done. All right, so we've compressed. We went to Effects, Compression, and now we've compressed. Well, let's see if there's anything else we need to do. Perhaps, we are going to want to make an edit. Our pianist screwed up, and we got to fix it. Sorry. What a dummy. Fire that guy. So I'm going to select the portion I want to work on. I'm going to zoom in. This is my zoom functions right here. And now here we go. I'm scared. Am I falling? Sorry. Uh-oh. From am I, we're going to go from scared. Scared, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. All right, so this is am I, and then this is am I. Now, I'm finding this by looking again for the transients or the peaks. That's where notes start. Boom, boom, boom. Whereas this is where notes hold. That's not where the important stuff happens. This is these little transient peaks. So I've got this peak here, which looks a lot like this peak. They're the exact same starting point, and the difference is I screwed up here. So I'm going to find the beginning of it. Da-da! Right there. The end of it. Da-da! Great. Now I'm going to select from before this peak until before this peak. I'm going to try to get them as identical as possible. Then I'm just going to hit delete. And now I have the edit that I want. Oh, that's also a mess up. Don't worry about that. But anyway, that's the change that you want. Fantastic. So we're going to save all of that. Let's say you want to export it. Well, you've got two options. You can go to File, Save Project. Now this is not saving the music itself. It's saving this weird thing we were working on. Instead, you're actually going to want to go to Export. You're going to want to export as an MP3. Export it as an MP3 or any other number of things. And I prefer to do extreme quality. I think it sounds a little bit better. You can also go with standard. I would not go with medium. And then you're going to click save. You're going to change. Oh, make sure you give it a clear name. I would make this one changing my major, melody, edit, and then I'll insert the date. The date today is 4/10. Great. 4/10/20. Label your files or you will lose track of them. And save. And then ignore this. You can even click don't show this when exporting audio. All this is metadata. If you're going to be listening to this in something like iTunes or other playback machines, you actually might want to fill this out. Artist name will be something like AMDA, and then you'll put your class, D3. Track title. You make the album title your class name or whatever. Whatever will keep it organized for you so that you can find it. That's your goal. You just want to be able to find it. We click OK and cancel. I'm canceling it because I already have a copy of this, but you won't click cancel because you do need it. And now I'm going to close this. I'm not going to save because I don't need to. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to work with an accompaniment track because those are the things that really, really need help. So I'm going to go into my downloads. I'm going to find changing my major accompaniment. I'm going to open it up in Audacity. Don't save. Don't save. All right. So again, I can go in, I can select everything, Command A, go to the effect bar, and because amplify probably won't work, I'm going to use my compressor again. I'm going to use the presets, -8, -40, might make it a little more intense. Let's do a ratio of 3:1. Makeup gain, compress based on peaks. Now let's do this. All right, now the whole thing is louder for me. Fantastic. And as you saw over here, this existed pretty solidly around -6 and 0. That's good. That means you are around peak loudness without clipping. So now that you've got that set up, we're going to want to set up those labels. Do you remember that time we went to Preferences and we selected Type to Create Label? So now you got to know what you're working with. You got to know what all this weird blue crap is. So I want you to remember this command. It's Command B. You hit the Command key and you hit B. What that does is that inserts a label. Okay, so I know where this section is. I'm going to hit Command B. And now this opens up a label. And I can call this whatever I want to call it so that I can find it. I can call it key change. I can call it by the first lyric. I got so excited. I can call it by the measure number. This copy doesn't have measure number, so I'm going to go, I got so excited. I'm going to listen through this. I'm not going to make you listen through it, but I just listen through it, and anytime something important happens, let's say I'm listening and I hear, oh, that's the pause that I want, so let's make that big pause, right? And I'll keep listening and keep finding the things that I need. Once I've labeled the whole thing, verse 2, once I've found all of those, and by the way, you'll notice that most of these correspond to big changes in the peaks. Almost every major thing that'll happen in your song corresponds to either right before or right after a big change in peaks. So that's a good way to kind of eyeball where you are. I'm sure another thing happens right here, right? Let's find out. Big thing happens here. And that is... Yep, called it. All right, so now let's say they sent you a section of the song and it's just not what you need. So we're gonna listen through this and I'm just gonna kind of do my performance to it, and we're gonna pretend that I'm an acting student instead of an accompanist. So I've got this beginning. What happened last night? Are you really here? Joan, 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 Joan. Hi, Joan. Uh-oh. Well, that took place way earlier than I wanted to in my acting. So I'm going to select this part. I'm going to zoom in on it. I'm going to find that little peak. All right, so I'm gonna take this little like room tone mini silence and I'm gonna put it right there. So I copied it, I selected it, I clicked Command C or Edit, Copy, and I'm going to Command V or Paste. Maybe I'll do a lot of it too. I can insert as many as I want. Now I'm going to test it out. Oh my God, last night. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, last night. I got so... Oh, all right, so it looked like I wanted to start right here. So I'm just going to take all this extra up to the formant, see, up to the formant, and then I'm going to delete it. And now I'm going to test it again, and I'm going to make sure that it's what I want. But there's this other thing, which is I don't really like those notes there. My pianist put them there to help me out, but I don't really like them. So I'm going to figure out about what the distance is. That's about 13 to 14. I'm going to find this other silence that I need, copy it, and then select Command V, and now I've replaced it. And now I know my pianist was trying to help me, but now I don't need them to help me. I'm just going to perform my song. Joan, 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 Joan. Hi, Joan! Where, Joan? Oh, well, that didn't come as early as I wanted. I want to go, hi, Joan! Don't wake up, Joan! So I'm just gonna take that. I'm gonna sing along with it again and pay attention to where the cursor is, and I'm gonna move this to there. So check it out. Hi, Joan! Don't wake up, Joan! All right, so it was right about there. So I'm gonna delete that. Again, up to the formant. If I want to, I can zoom in. And maybe, yeah, if I want to be really particular about it, zoom out and delete. Now let's see if that matches the performance I want to do. Hi, Joan! Don't wake up, Joan! Boom! That's exactly what I needed. Congratulations to me. Now, you want to steal room tone or sustain because it'll feel very natural. But if you don't have that, if you need to insert a pause for whatever reason, you can choose the moment where you need that pause. And then you're going to go to Generate. It's up here. I don't know if you can see it. Generate is right next to Effect. Generate Silence. You're going to select how many seconds you want it to be. You're going to click OK, and then boom, there's that silence. Now this is obviously way more than we need. But let's say I just needed like an extra second or two. Well, here we go. And now that's the silence that I needed. Now I'm getting to this section where Medium Allison, as the character is called, is kind of going crazy. I looked at my sheet music and it said neurotic, a little too fast. And I know that the way I monologued it was, I got so excited, I was too enthusiastic. Thank you for not laughing. Well, you laughed a little bit. But here, my stupid accompanist gave me this track that's like so slow, and it makes me sing it like this. I got so excited, I was too enthusiastic. Thank you for not laughing. Well, you laughed a little bit. And I want to be able to go, I got so excited, I was too enthusiastic. Thank you for not laughing, right? Well, how the heck am I going to fix this? Well, I'm going to select the whole section that I need to be faster. Okay, so this is where it gets slow again. So I'm going to select this. Again, I'm following the transients. I'm following the peaks. Selected that whole thing. Normally I would kind of zoom in and scroll, but I ain't got time for that. So I'm going to go to Effect, and I think I should probably go to Change Speed, right? Okay, great. Oh, that's such a good idea. Well, I want it to be like 12% faster. All right, cool. Let's hear that. Wait, that's weird. That doesn't feel like the right key at all. Oh, that's a weird change. Well, we just learned why we're not supposed to go to Effect, Change Speed. Because if we change the speed, that doesn't just change the tempo, it changes the pitch. Well, I don't want to do that. I just want to change the tempo. So I'm going to go to not change speed, but change tempo. And honestly, you're just going to have to kind of play it and preview it. So in this case, I want to use high quality stretching. If I don't use high quality stretching, it'll start to introduce what are called artifacts. Artifacts are like, you know when you hear bad autotune and you can hear that it was autotuned? The right? That's because of artifacts. When you're either doing a bad job of audio processing, or you're doing a bad job on purpose, you're making the artifacts obvious, these things result that make it clear what you did. So in this case, we're going to use high quality stretching to minimize artifacts. We're just going to preview it and sing along. I got so excited, I was too enthusiastic. Thank you for not laughing. Well, you laughed a little bit at one point when I think I can go a little faster. I think I'm feeling it here. I'm feeling it at, I got so excited, I was too enthusiastic. Thank you for not laughing. All right, so let's see if this is there. I got too excited, I was too enthusiastic. Thank you for not laughing. Well, you laughed a little bit at one point. Okay, that's where I want it, so I'm going to process it. Applying high quality tempo change. Now I'm going to test the whole section. I got so excited, I was too enthusiastic. Thank you for not laughing. Well, you laughed a little bit at one point when I was touching you and said I might lose consciousness, which you said was adorable, and I just have to trust that you... Whoa! So that's too much, right? So I'm going to click Command-Z to undo that change. I'm going to go back here. And this will take some trial and error. But I think that having to do the trial and error yourself actually tells you a lot about the performance you want to make and the musical choices you're doing. Instead of having this is a great learning opportunity for you, because instead of having the accompanist just kind of follow you and make it happen, now you have to make the decisions yourself and really, really decide, and not just decide, but know by how much you are increasing it. Now in this case, I already did this before when I tried to tape this originally and then cursed too much. So I want it to be about 15%. Right? And now I'm going to test it again, see how it feels. I got so excited, I was too enthusiastic. Thank you for not laughing. Well, you laughed a little bit at one point when I was touching you and said I might lose consciousness, which you said was adorable, and I just have to trust that you don't think I'm an idiot or some kind of animal. I never lost control due to overwhelming lust. This is too high for me, must say that I'm changing my major to Joan. You know, I wanted to stretch this more, so I'm actually going to do the opposite now. I'm going to select this. This is the last chord where it says ritardando on my sheet music, or R-I-T, rit, or sometimes it'll say R-A-L-L, rallentando, for another section where you kind of stretch it out. I'm going to go to Effect, change tempo, and this time I'm going to slow it down. I'm going to preview it. Must say that I'm... it's a little bit too much, so let's go to there. That I'm... All right. So I'm going to go, must say that I'm changing my major to Joan. Ugh, this dumb pianist is now way too fast there. So again, I can slow each section down. I can speed it up. I can do whatever I need to do. And rather than having to email my pianist every single time, and they'll say they'll get it to me in 24 hours, but it's really 48 hours, and my class is in 36 hours, and I need to be able to practice it, I can make the changes myself. I'm empowering myself musically to, in a way, be my own accompanist. And that's not ideal. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not ideal. But it's ultimately kind of what you have to do in the real world when you're self-taping and when you're dealing with these accompaniment tracks. You have acting choices you want to make. Sometimes you have to fit them to the music you're given, but you want the ability to fit the music to the choice that you're making. Now, there's another type of change you might have to do, which is you might have dialogue there, you might have a vamp or a safety or some sort of repeat section that you just need to go on longer. So, we're going to find that. All right, so there's this section in the song where I decided I actually kind of need like a costume change, or I need to do some prop business, or I need to talk, and I don't have the time I need. So I'm going to find a little section that I can repeat that I've discussed with my teacher or my music director. I'm gonna make sure they're the correct measures. Well, this was verse 2, so I know it was at the beginning of verse 2. So I'm gonna find this little vamp. Da 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 da. All right. I'm gonna select the general idea of what it was. I'm gonna zoom in on it, and I'm gonna find exactly the loop. Da 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 da. Is it there? No, it was right here. All right, so I'm going again by these transients. I'm going to select right before this transient, and then right before this transient. I'm going to try to get them to match a little. Zoom in again. Double check. Yep, pretty good. I'm going to zoom out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Command C. Edit, copy is what I'm doing. Command C. I'm going to click the forward arrow button. So now my cursor is right at the middle point. So I know that I need it repeated one time. So this is number 1, and then my repeat. So I'm going to paste, Command V, or paste, edit, paste. So now I'm going to rehearse it. Okay, I'm trying to, and then da 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 da. Oh, that wasn't the amount of time I needed. So I'm actually going to undo that, and my cursor is going to be right where I need it, and I'm going to insert 2. So I'm going to insert 1 there, then I'm going to click arrow again, and then click paste again, Command V. Now I've got 3 totals of this, 2 of them without me singing, 1 of them with singing. And I'm going to rehearse. I'm rehearsing with my props. I'm rehearsing with my dialogue. And now I'm ready to enter. Da 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 da. Oh, perfect. Fantastic. I made that edit. But let's consider the opposite. Let's say that your accompanist gave you this whole section and you just don't need it. Well, oh, ignore that. Ignore that thing I just did. Well, let me find something that I want to delete. So My teacher told me to go straight from this section to that section, right? So again, I'm going by the peaks, peak, peak. I'm going to play them back to make sure they're accurate. I'm not going to waste your time by making you listen to me do that, but let's pretend you played it back. You found the end point of your last section and the start point of the section you want to do. Well, very simple, folks. You're just going to select that and delete it. And now your part goes like this. Clumsy, 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 clumsy. So I'm going to just zoom in, and there's the issue. I had an extra peak I wasn't paying attention to. Zoom in until you find the problem, delete it, or sometimes you delete too much, so you might want to Command-C, undo, and find it. Then that is exactly the edit I wanted. Fabulous! Here's a few other issues you might run into. One, don't play around with this button, because this is just the playback speed, right? Now, you actually can use this button if, for example, you're playing back from your laptop and you just want to play back the accompaniment track in Audacity. Then instead of playing with the tempo and saying, oh, this is faster, this is slower, you can just make the whole thing faster or the whole thing slower. It's a lot easier. Now, the other thing you might want to do is you might have trouble getting sound to come out. So if you have trouble getting sound to come out, you just go to this little sound button here and you select which device you want it to come out of, whether it's your headphones or your laptop speakers, or if you're connected to external speakers, which will get you the best sound. So if you've got like a UE boom or any sort of portable thing like that, plug it in, you'll get much better results. The other thing that's great about playing back in Audacity, if you want to, is you can actually think about those labels again, right? You can have your measures in there. And then when your teacher says, can we take it from measure 42, you don't have to scroll through. You can just find measure 42 right there and go. And here's a little trick you can do to put in your measures, by the way, is you can just follow along and click Command-B every time 4 measures go by. So let's pretend we're going from measure 1 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, pretend that I didn't just do that, because you also have to select them, right? So what you're going to do, you're going to select that spot, and then you're going to keep playing. All right, now that's the next spot. And you're just going to write in what that is. You know, measure 7 million, 1,000, 100,000. Cool. All right, so once you've got that, you might also end up needing to change the pitch. You're in your rehearsal, and you have to bring it up a step or down a step, or maybe even down or up 2 or 3 steps. Well, you can cut your class short, wait for your accompanist to respond to your email, hope they get it right, or we ain't got time for that. We're going to go to Effect, Change Pitch. You're either going to go up 3, up 1, up 2, up 3, or down 1, down 2, down 3. You're not going to go more than that because it starts to introduce artifacts. We talk about artifacts. They're the things that sound weird. Don't touch this part, the frequency change part. Don't touch it. It'll just mess up everything. Deal with semitones. 1 step up, 2 steps up, 3 steps up, or negative for going down. Let's say we want it 3 steps up. Then you're going to make sure that you've checked Use High Quality Stretching. It's going to introduce fewer artifacts. Click OK. And then it's going to do its thing. Now, as you can see, it's taking many seconds, so we're not going to let it actually do that. But that's how you do it. Anyway, when this is done, I can either save the project and then play back from Audacity so that I actually have the ability to skip around, to see where I am, and to change things as me and my teacher discuss them. Or if I ain't got time for that, I'm going to go to export as MP3, and then load that MP3 onto my device. Anyway, that's how you use Audacity. I hope that's useful to you, and stay safe, stay sane, and continue working your butts off. Bye.